So in this episode specifically, we are talking about the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And we basically break it down. Things that we've gone through, me and Josh, through our life experiences, and we just break it down. Things that we're going through now, in the past, and things to be aware of and what we can do to apply those. So thank you for listening.
Funny, man. You're going to have haters no matter what you do.
Oh, yeah, I know.
No matter what you do, someone's not going to like you for anything.
That's why I brought this list. No, it's not a list. It's more of a... It's from a book. It's called The 4 Agreements.
Okay.
By Don Miguel Ruiz.
Okay, yeah, I've heard.
You've probably seen the book, too.
I've heard that. I've heard The 4 Agreements. It was probably from you. I'm not sure.
Actually, this is the first time I read it, so I've never brought it up.
Oh, okay. Maybe. Okay.
I've never brought it up. But what you're saying, the haters, right? It's...
This is in it?
I wouldn't say this is in it, but it comes down to don't take anything personally.
Okay.
That's basically what he breaks down on chapter 2. And it says, don't take anything personally. Now, it says, A, nothing others do is because of you. B, what others say and do is a projection of their own reality and their own dream.
Yes.
C, when you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be a victim of needless suffering.
Nice.
So that's your haters.
Should we explain to people what happened to us last time at the Starbucks?
Go ahead.
You
explain it.
Yeah, last time at the Starbucks, we came here and I've come here a few times, me and him, and this Starbucks, the employees and management or whoever, they turn the audio up so high that you can't even have across the table conversation. You have to, it's like too loud.
Which is episode number 2
and
on this podcast. Yep.
Yes. And so, in any case, I've been complaining for a while, but I think I was the only person that complained. Everyone else was afraid to say something. And this Starbucks inside was always empty. There wasn't people anymore.
Right.
And I complained, whatever. I talked to a manager I knew at a different Starbucks, and I said, hey, is there something I can do? And they said, yeah, call the district manager. And I called him, and I addressed it, and it was okay for a little while. And then I came in, what was it? Oh, we came in to record. It had been fine. They turned it down, but then I came in. And we came in to record the second podcast in there. It was so loud. I texted the district manager because I had his number, and he called the Starbucks, and he was like, turn it off.
Yep.
Turn off the music, because he had addressed it before, and they still were losing. They started again. Anyway, well, they were banging around. We set up our equipment. We didn't allow that to affect us. They ended up turning it off completely, but they were so mad at us.
Right. Which actually really affects the microphone huge when you throw something on purpose, a ring, a ding, anything, a yell.
Yeah,
whatever.
They were dumping stuff on the ground hard. You heard it in the podcast. Anyway.
It was on purpose, so.
Yeah. But it was like we weren't allowing that to... It's easier said than done to not be affected, by people as much, whatever. But I'm like, dude, I wish they could hear some of the stuff we're sharing, man. I hope someday they could hear this.
Right.
And realize we're sharing stuff we wish we would have learned.
Absolutely.
When we were younger, man. And it's like, gosh, we're not letting anything stop us, even the whatever, to get valuable information that we've gained.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm so glad you're doing this podcast. But yeah, back to the agreement. What was it say?
Don't take anything personally.
Yeah.
Right. And it's hard. It's not easy. And we take everything, we could take things way personally, or we could just brush it off.
Yeah.
And move on, which...
Dude.
Yeah.
I was trying. We would come in. The music is blasting. They took it personal. Right?
Yep.
They took it personal. They're like, The first time I asked them to turn the music down, the store supervisor turned it down, but then slowly turned it all the way back up to where it was. They initially did it, but then we're like, what is going on? So they took offense. No one ever addressed it. They even said it. Do you remember? They were like, no one ever complained. I'm like, yeah, because they don't have the guts.
And which is something I learned from you, is learning to speak up, learning to say how it is. Not to like say how it is like just because, but say how it is because there's a reason to it to back it up. There's not to tolerate it. Like we're starting to let things go, and we don't want to hurt people's feelings. Oh gosh.
Yeah, and all this. Yeah.
Gosh, I know I have feelings too. I have feelings. Don't get me wrong. I have feelings. Do my feelings hurt? Yes, but it's. I'm not going to use it as a crutch. I'm not going to be a victim. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. Yeah. He says, you won't. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I was actually thinking today. There's something simple people can do in their day-to-day life that's going to make them more money over time. And that is having integrity with whatever service you give people, whatever you do. When you're not willing to turn down the music and you're just going to blast it in your workplace when there's customers or whatever. I mean, if it's your business, blast it as much as you want. But if you're under a business and there's a requirement, follow it.
Absolutely.
Whatever. It's not, obviously if it's unjust or something like that, I don't recommend that, but having integrity of service.
Right.
Is the value. People don't realize me and you go to places where there's integrity of service, where there's good food, and you don't have to question the quality of the food. They're reliable. You're not scared of what you're going to eat.
Right.
You're going to get a good portion.
Yep.
All this kind of stuff. Those kind of things. What is that? That's integrity of service between us and the restaurants in the same way. And if we're at a workplace and we're serving, like, say, our boss or whatever, they are our customer. How we are serving our bosses and stuff. I was explaining this to a young man actually at my shop. And I was like, look, you're willing to pay good money for good service. Right? I was like, do the same. And as you get older, that integrity that you maintain is going to put you to the top of the line everywhere you are. So it doesn't matter if you're McDonald's. If you're the most reliable person, if you're always on time,
yep.
If you're always reliable, you always pick up your phone if they call, if there's a problem, you don't send them to voicemail and don't just leave them hanging until the next day just because you're not working. Absolutely. These kind of things, man, people don't realize it's mocked at. It's mocked. Things like this, but that's where, you know what I'm saying, the real value you're going to get long-term in your own life,
Correct. No, and that's true because I'm thinking of, I used to work at Round Table Pizza in what's called the GSR.
Did you?
Yeah, in Reno, Nevada. Yeah, inside there. And I remember, that was, I don't know how it is now, but I remember like dressing up, for the interview, resume, being very stiff. I don't know how it is now. I think people just need people in general now at this point. I don't know. But anyways, that was 2009. And then I went to San Diego for 2 years. So coming back 2000, and I went to Mexico. So that means 2013 or 12. 2013. I remember October 2013. I went back to Round Table. They recognized me. And I asked them, hey, can I still work here? They took me in a heartbeat. Because they recognized last time, they knew who I was last time and how I worked, and that I was willing to, like, I remember even just, there was nothing to do, supposedly. There's always something to do, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I was cleaning the ceilings, like, because they're all yellow. And it seems like nobody wouldn't, and it says on the rules, okay, if you got nothing else to do, here's other things that you can do. Clean, exactly. And I would just go up there and scrub and do the gum thing underneath the...
You did it without even your manager saying anything?
No, because I was like, I'm not going to sit here and stand.
Yeah.
Because I got to do something.
Yeah.
It's just for me, not for anybody else. I'm doing it for myself. But I didn't know. I didn't know that was. I thought everybody was doing it though.
Like that.
Like I thought
like
everybody
they had
yeah,
integrity.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Well, like I said, the only reason I feel I probably had more was because of the spiritual experiences I've had.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. You didn't really have any spiritual experiences, but you were doing that stuff probably out of your conscience. You're like, just do something. They're paying me.
Exactly.
You felt that value.
Yeah.
They're paying, so.
They are paying me, so it only made sense. It only made sense to always just do it for yourself and don't do it for anybody else. Like if you want to, what I've noticed, like for myself, like everything that I do now, I do, which actually it's funny you're saying that, but look at that, number 4, which leads us to number 4.
Okay.
Always do your best. Number 4,
Yeah.
A. So that's number 4. Always do your best. And then A, it says, your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. B, under any circumstance, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret.
That's very true. That's very true.
All right?
Well, that's not only true in your work life, that's true in your personal life.
I know.
Ooh, you want to read it again?
Okay, so
let's first read it and think about your place of work. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, your best is going to change from moment to moment.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
there's different things they're going to be needed to be done.
So this is what I get from it. The best is going to change from moment to moment. So I was thinking, does that mean like, hey, in 2021 to 2022 of this year, was I doing my best that year, or is it always is that what that means? Is going to change as you're going to progress?
That probably, and your situation probably changes.
Oh, right.
Like even in your work, something else comes up, whatever.
It's all positivity, right? Because it increases, right?
There's something different happens.
Okay. And then after that one, it says it will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick.
Mm-hmm.
So meaning when you are...
Sometimes you're more limited.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And then B, it says under any circumstance, simply do your best. So like you're saying, life, whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, business, not business.
Yeah.
And you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret.
Okay, now let's try this. Read it thinking about our lives and how we deal with people and our families and stuff like that. Let me see.
Yeah, go ahead.
Your best is going to change from moment to moment. So family circumstances change.
You're right.
Things change, whatever. Unfortunately, our family passes away or, responsibilities increase, decrease.
Yeah.
Your best is going to change. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Sometimes in family or in social life, we become sick and, we don't maybe feel healthy,
Right.
When you're younger, it's difficult to socialize well.
Mm-hmm.
You're not as progressed and you don't know how to communicate as well, and you have to work that muscle and learn how to communicate and be around people sometimes. So that's almost like being unhealthy, maybe socially.
Right. No, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be different then, but you can still do your best.
Yeah. Regardless.
You can still do your best. Under any circumstances, simply do your best. Any circumstance.
Okay. So this is what came through my mind now that you're saying the sick. Like, let's say, and I remember this on Les Brown, one of his audios I remember. He knew this lady over the phone, and she'd be, Les Brown used to be a DJ kind of guy, radio host.
Okay.
And he'd take phone calls from people, and there was always this one lady that was super optimistic, super pumped up, everything.
Uh-huh.
And And then one day, this other lady, like, she had different ladies, like, that would always call him up on the radio. And then you could tell that this other one, was so depressed, so sad. And he could tell in her voice, like, hey, I'm feeling like, oh, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing great. But you can feel it in the voice. Her tonality was in. And
speed and all that. Yeah.
Exactly. Then he found out, like, later on in the conversation, or not in the conversation, outside of the radio, he called her. He called her up and said, "Hey, what's going on? What's really going on?" And he's like, "I found out that I have cancer, like breast cancer, right? And and my husband left me because he can't deal with it. Kids don't like me, whatever. All this worst case scenario, and she wanted to kill herself, basically, and which would make sense at that time, right? If I was in that position, maybe, potentially, I don't know.
That pressure, okay,
right?
Yeah.
And she started to lose her hair too, right? And that's one of the things that ladies, that's a big feature. That's a huge feature.
Guys, we can shave our head.
Yeah. But ladies, that's different.
Yeah.
And then, so Les is like, okay, whoa, before you do anything, before you think about, letting go of your life, can you give me one more day? Right? And she's like, okay. And so he invited her, the one that had breast cancer, to this clinic and this hospital. And he's like, hey, you remember that one lady that's so positive that she would always be on the phone? I'm going to introduce you to her. She's so amazing. She's beautiful, whatever. And they go to her room in a hospital. And she looked at her and was like, and Les Brown explained, like, oh, well, this lady basically can't move her arms, can't move her legs, can't move anything, right? And it was a disease that just formed over time, like, right? So she has trouble seeing her kids, she has trouble seeing her family, and she's in the hospital, so almost every day to treat her. And then Les asked her, hey, how are you? How are you doing? And she's like, what was it? Better than good, better than good, and better than most. And that attitude. And then and the lady Les invited that lady, and you could see the tears in her eyes, like just by looking at her, that she looks really like not healthy, but her attitude and always doing her best, like, I'm doing better than good and better than most. And saying, like, hey, she's still putting the attitude. She's always doing her best, even though she can't move anything. Absolutely no arms, nothing. She can't move anything, but she has that attitude, and everyone loves her on the hospital because of her attitude. Yeah, that's the one thing we can control. Yes. And then obviously she decided not to take her life because she saw an example. She saw something that actually existed. Yes. And that's what I got out of it when you said, what if we were in the worst case scenario, leg, blind, right? Yeah. And what is it? Is it Helen Keller? If I'm correct, Helen Keller, right?
She went deaf and blind and mute, so she couldn't talk, see, or hear.
You're right, and that was over time, right? Well, I think that was over.
It was
over
like
time,
a degenerative disease or whatnot.
Correct.
I haven't heard the whole story, but.
And I remember the quote. I think one of the quotes, and I could be, misquoting it or whatever, but I remember it was like having no sight, having vision, but having sight.
Having sight but no vision.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, having ears but you can't hear.
Right. Absolutely.
Hope.
Yeah.
Hope.
Exactly. It's
in difficulty and stuff like that, man. Yeah, don't give up. Don't give up.
And it's like what I'm seeing now in my life.
Always do your best.
And doing in my life now, always doing your best. Like, how do I see this now? Like, the way I wake up is different. Literally, the way I wake up different. Because now it's a different attitude. It's now about being, I don't know, just being like, hey, like I have a mission to do every single day. I have a mission to serve my people. I have a mission, even doing this podcast, is like, now I have, this is what I get to do now. I get to add value to people. I get to share my voice and who I am.
Yeah.
And that's the most beautiful thing. And I've been holding back. I talk about it. I've been holding back because maybe it leads to number 3. I make assumptions. Like, I make assumptions. Oh, what if they're not going to listen to it? Oh, what if this? Or what if that? And we make up stories. We start to make up stories in our mind. And even currently right now, we're about to do a commercial, right? And I made all these stories up in my mind about hiring actors. Like, oh, they're not going to come. Oh, this and that.
Oh, of course.
Right? Oh, they're not going to like my commercial. Whatever. Oh, and you know what? It's the next move that I have to do. I have to move on from my friends and family, from borrowing them, because it's not what they're passionate about, right? You, of course, thank you for helping me, of course.
Yeah.
Because you're a great friend. And it's not much acting. It's not like crazy, like short films or anything. But I realized I just literally conquered this fear today. I reached out. I found someone, and she was looking forward to it. We got on a Zoom call right away. She's send me the details. And the one thing that I want to make a difference in this community is I actually want to pay them, because I've noticed most actors don't get paid. And I'm like, no, I'm going to pay you.
What do you mean they don't get paid?
So they do it for what is it?
No glamour.
Not glamour, but they do it because they want to help the community. They do it because because either they go to, like, it's all theater, it's all low budget, there's no money. But I'm like, no, this is what makes me different. Is I want
to give people value.
Yeah, I want to give people, because you have talent. That's concentrated. That's something that I know you're probably going to say no, but I want you to receive, because I want you to come back too. Like, I want you to know that there's a reward too. Like, there's something satisfying about getting paid about your talents.
Dude, not only that, I get a little something I learned about money. You might consider this and other things, whatever. I might have said something like this to you, but in the past. But when we don't pay for something and there's nothing in return, we don't appreciate things the same.
That's right.
So I don't. Now it's to the point like we're doing this podcast.
Yeah.
And it's for free.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I've done listen to people's podcasts, but some of the classes and stuff from those same people that were paid, I paid extreme attention to. You appreciate things that you pay for when it comes out of your pocket. So, people love things for free, but something like learning and adding value to yourself, I can't suggest pay. Absolutely. And when you're giving value to others, be willing to pay. You want to pay and be paid.
I agree.
We appreciate things differently, man. We appreciate. Is there anything you ever got for free
of
that
course,
was high value?
I'm about to expose myself when I was so young, and we loved. Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, this is a disclaimer. We are outside of the Starbucks now at this point. If you're not watching this, so. Just imagine being in a Starbucks and then just being outside. You see a bunch of there's trees, cars coming in, and there's a freeway maybe down there. There's a casino, green one. Anyways, if you can see it, that's our disclaimer. But going back to free, right? What have I received free?
What'd you get for free that was high value that you didn't appreciate, that you ended up like wasting? Because that's usually what we do.
Wasting. Got something for free. Well, I don't know if I wasted it, but I could tell you that it did help me in a way. But okay, so I'm going to come clean. I used to pirate a lot of movies.
Okay.
And I would download them, and then I would burn them on a disc. But I watched all of them. I mean.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. What else?
But you don't appreciate it the same.
You don't. So even like a program like.
I mean, there's a reward. You're like, yes, but it's like if you worked for it and paid for it, you would still have them.
It's exactly.
Potentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
That's a good point.
You don't have any of those.
Nope.
And you probably don't even care to watch them again.
Nope.
In most cases.
Nope. That's a good point.
It's in our psychology, man.
It's true.
We appreciate things that costs us. Totally different.
It's true.
I guess you could say that in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I think sometimes, and I'm guilty of it, giving myself too easily.
Right.
Or getting somebody else too easily or whatever. You don't appreciate them as much.
Right. Taking your time, right? Is more.
Yes. There's less appreciation.
Yeah.
If they're easy to catch.
Correct. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right? You
Okay.
appreciate each other more.
It's funny because I've been talking to someone.
Okay.
I've finally been talking to another, like a girl. Like
Okay.
it's been great.
Nice.
And it's been, but like what I like about it is
Anybody I know?
no.
Oh, hiding. You're disclosing on the podcast to me. Anyway, I don't care.
No, it's great.
That's cool.
And
That's cool.
I'm saying this because I'm like, gosh, like I just saw all these clues, but at the same time, what I love about it so far is, and I've been telling everybody, I'm like, I just been telling everybody, it's like, has nothing to do with the conversation. I'll be like, hey, I'm finally doing it because I need to surrender. I need to let go of my past experiences, and also, I love that I'm going super slow, like slow and steady, and being a best friend, being a friend, one step at a time. And
I think that's important, man.
And I repeat it hundreds.
Be friends first.
Be friends. Be friends. Be friends. There's no promises. There's no guarantees.
Yeah.
And I want them to see my lows, right? I want them to see my highs.
Yeah.
Mediums, plateaus, whatever. I want that to be exposed in myself, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Right? Because what if I don't want to make a commitment, because that is a commitment. That's a long-term commitment, because I'm not here to just keep jumping or whatever. That's not how I roll. I've always been pretty committed in what I do. Hey, I'm going to do something. That's commitment. And like you were saying, it's like taking it slower, not rushing things, one step at a time. Observe, ask questions.
Yeah.
Ask, what do they value? What is this like?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm learning so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Deeper principles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are going to help stuff long term, man. Mm-hmm. We find out things the hard way, man. And it's like,
Yeah, we do.
We
really do.
And I think we do, disservice when we get things for free and easy. We do ourselves and we do others.
Yeah.
Things that last take a while, man.
They do. They really do.
Things that last, it takes time.
It does take time.
It was funny. Me and you didn't start talking. I mean, how long did I know you till we actually made a solid connection?
Until the bicycle ride, right?
Off and on for like 3 years, I think.
And then the bicycle ride, right?
And then, you did that.
Because you took the initiative too. You're like, whoa, you're
a doer.
Doer now. Now you see you saw the.
I'm like, hey, we can talk now.
Right.
There's a lot of people talking, but not a lot of people doing.
And then when you see that, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
But
that was fun. You should share that video of us in the pizza place.
Oh, that's right.
You should share that.
That'll be next. Yeah, I gotta find it. I'll find it on your thing.
Yeah, maybe you could do that.
Yeah, that's been a while.
Yeah. I think I did it Facebook Live. Can we take it off Facebook Live?
I can. I can figure it out. Yeah.
Is there? Okay.
So there's a video of us. So Josh is interviewing me. We didn't finish the whole interview, and now that I think back, we should have finished the whole interview. But I think we got kicked out, or the pizza.
No, it was enough.
It was enough. It was enough.
Was it?
It was enough. It was enough. And
we got kicked out.
I think
they were closing.
It's closing. That's what it was.
I think it was closing.
So,
okay, yeah.
So, but
that's a good story. That was awesome.
That was a great story.
That's a fun time. But see, we kept in touch.
Yeah,
we're still growing together.
Exactly.
Things like that.
And we've had conversations like this, like what we're talking about, reading books or just values of life.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this for
3-4 years now.
Consistently.
Yeah.
And really building each other up.
Yeah.
And learning about each other's business. And Josh has seen me grow. I mean, you've seen me grow, and I've seen you grow, vice versa.
Yeah.
We see each other grow, and the things that we still need to work on. And it's great. I think it's amazing because now it's like that. What was that rising ships one?
Oh yeah.
What is that? What is
a rising tide raises all ships.
Rising tide raises all ships.
So when the tide rises, any ship on that tide rises.
Right.
You know, so
Absolutely.
people need to learn, get around people that are rising in the things that you know, either want to do, or if you like this kind of stuff, you know, find people of similar taste.
Absolutely.
And that like what this stuff is, you know, like this kind of stuff.
And I think I'm now seeing, so this is the thing that I'm now doing has been, I'm not going to tell anybody what to do now. I'm not even going to tell anybody, hey, you should be healthy because I'm now being fit.
Yeah.
I should you should read books. Nope. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to tell anybody anything anymore. I've decided no more. And the reason I'm saying this is because now I'm just going to let my actions speak.
Yeah.
Right? When I posted that picture of like me being really fit.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't share anything in between. I almost didn't share. It was very light. I shared that I went to the gym, whatever, here and there, maybe.
Yeah, hide it.
Maybe. But when I posted it,
results.
Oh man, I'm getting so many text messages from, especially in Mexico.
Oh really?
Oh man, what's up with your son, man? Like, dude, he's super buff now. Like, I have a nickname now. Like,
oh really?
I have a new nickname in Spanish, and
what's that?
And mame. It's like basically someone that's like really buff, like the buff guy or something.
Oh,
I think that's what I'm translating it. But that's my new nickname because they're like, oh, your son, like, oh man, I saw him on Facebook or whatever. Dude, he's really like buff. He's really strong. Like, hey, what's the secret? And
you're getting people like,
dude,
a whole bunch of people
my dad,
reached out.
Everyone, or they're going to my dad directly.
Oh really?
They're going to my dad directly. And he's hearing it, and he's like, he'd walk down the neighborhood.
He didn't even know? He didn't see the picture?
He saw the picture, but he's like, oh, okay, we see it. But then everyone's coming up to him, be like, hey, how's your son? Or, I saw your son on Facebook. Man, he's really buff. Like, what is he doing? Like, it's great. And and I'm like, he just walks down the street and it's like, hey, how's your son? Oh yeah, he's really buff. I see him.
Yeah.
But my dad loves it, like, because I'm representing him too, right?
Yeah.
I'm representing.
Well, look at that. When we rise, we also raise others around us.
That's right.
Yeah, so anybody listen to this, you know, when you rise, you do things above and beyond, you indirectly are going to bring some other people up too and give them the opportunity to do the same.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm now letting, from when I got that feedback, I'm just like, oh, I'm just going to keep doing that. I'm just going to let my actions speak. Okay, next thing you know, there's a movie being released by me that you probably didn't even know about. Nobody knew about.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, what? I just saw your name on the Netflix, on the billboard, on the Netflix, on the whatever, like on the Century Theaters or whatever theater you went to. Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, what? I'm going to call him up right now. Hey, Glenn, did you receive? Oh, yeah, I did do that. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So now it's about letting people's actions speak, because here's what I've noticed. When I let my actions speak, now, guess what happens? This is what happened. My mom.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, is this portion good? Like, we're eating dinner?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, okay. Oh, hey, what does this avocado have? Is that good or bad?
She's asking you?
Yeah, she's asking because I actually do know. Like, when I look at it, I'm like, oh, it has high in fat. That's a lot of fat.
Okay,
it's good fat, but it's but I know
you're learning
I know the fats, the carbs, and the fats. I know exactly which one is gonna be the most and which is gonna be the least.
What's the most valuable?
Yeah, potatoes, bunch of carbs. Chicken, with no skin, a bunch of protein. Tilapia, a bunch of protein, no fat, and it's all these. I know all these now.
Yeah,
by memory. Nice. So it's like, it's really, really cool seeing it. And I was talking to my personal trainer as well. It's like, dude, I am so grateful for you, because I can't go back no more. I know too much. I know too much. There's no way of me going back.
Yeah.
Like, even the soda. Even the soda is starting to disgust me. Like,
is it?
It's like, yeah, I saw Dr. Pepper today, but I was like,
But the reward doesn't outweigh the result.
Exactly. I get drawn.
You know what? That's funny.
I get weird.
I think that, bro, that's kind of like a key for me too in life. It's like, as soon as you get exposed enough, it keeps you.
It does.
A lot of people are trying to find like how to get something done, like get themselves out of maybe a situation and change their lives or whatever. sometimes just mass exposure to the other side and the wisdom of it. Like, say you want to get in shape. That's huge.
It is.
That's right. Because, like, for me, business, doubt and fears, all this stuff. I couldn't imagine anybody on here. If you're an employee and you've never run a business, I know you're afraid. I know what it feels like to be like, oh my gosh, running a business. Are you kidding me? But the only reason that's there is because you don't have enough knowledge to surpass that fear.
Exactly.
As soon as you learn,
there's no way of going back.
oh my God, I know.
There's no way, because
Me
you
and
know.
you look. Now I'm like, I couldn't imagine. Well, I'll tell you what. There's been a couple times where I'm still considering being an employee just to learn something. But that's the only reason.
That's right.
It's only to benefit my business.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
That's why.
It makes sense.
Because we know we're understanding enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you want to make $15, $20, or $25 an hour when you can make $100, $200, $300 an hour or more?
Yeah.
And control money. People don't realize generally one person's labor brings $100 an hour to a business.
Yeah. It's true.
At McDonald's, you're working the McDonald's drive-thru, you're probably bringing $100 to $150 in profit
Yeah.
to the business, and they're giving you 20 or less.
And I talked to somebody that's an employee, right?
Uh-huh.
And, she's been noticing what I've been doing. Like, hey, that's awesome. Like, that what you've been doing. And it's like, and I was like, I don't recommend it. I almost don't recommend it to be a business owner because it's tough. Like, it's not easy. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I do recommend it because I learn more about myself and who I am as a person.
Yeah.
And my confidence increased, my competence increased, all these different skills increased.
Yeah.
But when I first start, it's like, yeah, I almost don't. Like, you got to take like baby steps to really do it. Like, you got to you really have to start depending on how you grew up. Like, your story.
I know.
It just depends on your story.
Our personalities.
Yeah. It depends on what you've been downloaded, what kind of
Yeah.
information. So,
Yeah.
it's just going like that. It's tough. It's really tough. From employee to business owner, it's difficult. But if you're exposed enough, maybe from your parents or maybe from somebody that you grew up and like, and you realize something from them, it's like, oh, okay, they've always been a business owner. They've always been doing this, but they've taught me this. And
it is a mindset.
It is a mindset.
It's a
huge,
mindset.
huge
That's
mindset.
what it is. It's a follower's mindset to a leader.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But you say it's difficult. Maybe it wasn't as difficult because I've had more of a leadership mindset in my own life for longer. Mm-hmm. In my case,
yeah.
I think, and here's the thing. You were an entrepreneur even before it was in business, when you were just living life day to day.
Yeah.
You're being creative. You're trying to sell yourself. You're trying to be persuasive. Did we talk about that in one of the previous podcasts yet?
I don't think so. I mean, yeah.
And I've said this to you. People don't realize everybody is a salesman.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about that. That's right, yeah.
Everyone's a salesman.
It's true.
When you're a kid and you get in trouble and you're trying to get out of it, what are you trying to do? Sales and persuasion. You're persuading your way. You're trying to figure out a way to wiggle out of that spanking or whatever.
Right.
Or getting in trouble.
Absolutely.
Losing your Xbox.
Yeah.
Whatever. And, when I think if we support people and help them recognize that they're all in business for themselves, it's, you're leading your life if you realize it or not, unless you're leading your life, but some people are leading it to be subordinate. They're leading their lives and they're taking their lives and putting it in somebody else's hands.
Right.
They're putting decisions in other people's hands.
Yeah.
They're taking their freedom. And like I said, it's a mindset. It's a mindset. In some, countries in the world, it's not. There's slavery. Yeah. There's things like that. Have you heard about some of these slavery markets? There's people still sold on black market slavery in the world. Crazy stuff that I heard. Anyway, But here, I mean,
You get the freedom.
we have the freedom of time. We can change employers. We can change anything we want.
Yeah.
And it's a free market, and you can go into business where you want and test and try something new, you know?
Yeah.
Just like you can change your life. You can change, you know?
Right.
You can change directions. You
Absolutely.
can change your health. You can change your social circle, whatever. It doesn't have to stay completely stagnant.
Correct. No, it's true. It's true.
Because if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting.
And
Change it up.
yeah, exactly. Like,
You have the freedom.
I guess that would be, don't make assumptions, right? Like, let me read that. Like, find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Okay, nice.
Say that again?
So, find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want.
You know, I express what you really want and maybe how you really feel.
Exactly. Hey, I want to make a movie. Oh, no, don't do that. It's too hard. No, it's impossible. No, you live in Reno. No, this and that. No, you see that? No, 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 no. Right? And then you believe it. You believe that opinion.
Yeah.
And you take it serious.
It's as real as you believe it.
Right. And I love what this book is saying. Actually, it's the Fifth Agreement I'm reading right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about how, like, you start to agree on that opinion because you trust your parents. You trust your authority figures. You trust them. You really do trust them.
I know.
But you hear it long enough, it becomes so true to you, a belief.
Even if it is a lie.
Even if it is. And it's just because they couldn't do it. Or they don't know how.
Well,
they don't know
or
the
they
answer.
believe they don't have the answer.
So they don't have the answer. So what's the best thing I can give you is this.
Yep.
Right? And it's just...
Yeah. How you believe.
That's right.
What you believe. If you believe you can't, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
If you believe you can, you can.
Correct.
And it will come.
And it says right here, number B, it says communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstanding, sadness, and drama.
Mm-hmm.
And then C, with just one agreement, you can absolutely transform your life. So out of all these 4 agreements, he's saying you can completely change your life just by doing one. Okay,
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not going to take things personally. Or number 3, I'm not going to make assumptions. Or number 4, I'll always do my best. Or number 1, which I really love, and we've been talking about this, and we're just talking about at the what is it? Not just talking the talk, or is it talking the talk or?
Not just talk, but walking the walk.
Walking the walk, right? Be impeccable with your word. A, speak with integrity. B, say only what you mean. C, avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. D, use the power of your word in a direction of truth and love.
Yeah, man.
So that's the 4 agreements. I really like this book.
Nice. Who wrote it? Do you remember the author?
It's right there by Don Miguel Ruiz.
Oh, okay. Nice.
It's a great little book. It's a great little book. And it's just a great little book. Like, for me, when I read it, it's things I've already been doing, but it just like added more. Like, it just reassured that, hey, I'm on the right track.
Yeah.
It just says I've been applying
these things.
Yeah, I've been doing these for a long time.
And you
but
probably
I just
learned one that you can add.
Exactly.
Is that why you laminated this?
So I laminated because I want to put it by my wall. I put it somewhere so it reminds me because we forget sometimes.
That's a good idea.
We forget sometimes. Like, I have another book.
I like this. I like this. I need to laminate some of the things I need to repeat to myself.
Yeah, even if I don't read it, it doesn't matter if I don't see it. It's just my subconscious picks it up in my room. That's all it is doing.
Does.
It's all it's really doing.
It has a feeling to it.
It does.
Wisdom has a feeling to it. And if you just laminate it, blah, blah, put it or just write on a piece of paper, have it around.
Yep.
Maybe use a colored paper or something, so it pops.
Exactly.
And then you just see it and you remember the spirit of wisdom.
Exactly.
I like that.
I like it.
I need to do some of this.
Yeah, I got a couple. I've been doing that for a long time. I have The Go-Giver. That's another great book. It has a lot of the values like how to add value, the law of the value, the law of receptivity. There's all sorts of values, but my subconscious picks them up. It's all just subconscious. And then you got I got like this one that I laminated with a director, like just an image of someone just directing, and he's wearing a cowboy hat. Now that I looked at it, I was like, wait a minute.
He affected you subconsciously.
Subconsciously, yeah, it really did. It really did. So there's a lot of things I laminate, but I keep it as a reminder for myself to I put it in my wall because it's just my subconscious picks it up. I know it does. I surround myself.
It does.
It does.
It does. Yeah.
Maps. I got maps in my room. I got things that I've done, shirts, things that I've done in the past that just to remind myself. I won't be like, oh, I remember that. Like maybe I'll lay down on the ground and oh gosh, I remember that, or something.
You look up and see them
at the right moment, at the right time will happen. So,
I don't remember what book I heard it in, but if anybody's hearing this stuff and you're starting to feel like a tug to do something bigger, if you're catching any of the podcasts and you're seeing some of these and you're starting to feel like that you could do bigger things than what you're doing, you can get yourself out of, maybe a bad situation or bad health, something like that. Something I learned was your subconscious is like your automatic system. So it's the things that you do automatically. Like when you walk down the street, when you're a kid and you're learning to walk, you have to think about it. But now you can walk down the street and there's no thought. Why? Because it's in your subconscious. In the same way, when you repeat good material, when you repeat positive things, when you repeat wisdom that you're learning and things like this, and you do it over and over, it ends up seeding in your subconscious and it becomes part of you. So if you're hearing what Glenn's doing, if you're hearing what I'm doing, or if we share this kind of stuff, the only reason it's happening is because we've done it long enough that it's becoming natural. It's no longer a B, C, D, E, F, G, a playbook piece by piece, but now this is just who we are.
Yeah.
And I can't recommend that enough. If you're hearing this stuff,
I mean, even this is becoming more comfortable too.
I know. See, look.
Like even when we first started, we didn't hesitate. Usually the camera's there. I'm like, this mic's in there.
You're right.
But this time I didn't.
You're right. I didn't even notice it.
I didn't even feel it this time. Like
no,
I usually do feel it. I usually
You're thinking about the people around us.
Yeah.
What they think.
And I got so comfortable already. Like
we're getting comfortable.
Exactly, because it's.
Yes.
At first you start.
Yeah.
It's unnatural, but
when and a lot of people, I think they confuse. They actually, we're not taught this kind of stuff, but we'll confuse those red flags as danger.
Mm-hmm.
But what it is, it's your subconscious. It's saying, okay, you just passed the line. We're going in uncharted territory, and your senses kind of increase. You get a little bit fuzzy feeling, and you're like, okay, this is weird. And for a lot of people, and of course, even for us, it's uncomfortable. But that's normal. That's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Don't take that as just it's a warning. It's your subconscious telling you, hey, you're doing something that we're getting out of range. You just turned up the temperature in the environment.
Yes.
Your automatic system is going to automatically fight against it.
Yep.
Initially.
Right. Of course.
You need to keep on doing it and remember the reward. Remember the benefit. Remember the benefit. The benefit is keep the benefit in front of you. And remember your route. Whatever it is you're learning, keep repeating it.
Mm-hmm.
Keep repeating it.
Yep.
For me, it was first thing in the morning. I have my list of the things I want in my life, my goals, and I would put it in front of me, and I would write them in a sentence as if I already had them.
Right.
So, and we can talk about a little bit more of of those specific actions in the future. We need to.
Yeah.
We need to, because it's crazy what can happen when you do this. But I would list my goals, put my goals in order, and I allow myself to feel what it's like to be in that environment. I repeat, I see my goals and I see myself, and I put on the shoes of the person walking into that environment that I want. And before I know it, I mean, you saw it.
Yeah.
You saw it. It wasn't, I mean, in some cases, I went from not having a location, not having anything, to having a full shop, full business running. I mean, it's...
Right.
Established in less than a year.
Correct. Yeah.
Because I repeated it. But, I mean, it still took almost a year. Sometimes it takes time. Your brain's automatic systems are going to be fighting against you until you break it. You got to break it. Break the lies that society pushes on you.
Or the stories we come up.
The stories that we're telling ourselves.
All the time. Gosh, I hate...
I know. Me too. What was one today? Oh, I'm working on doing a coffee setup. Whatever. I'm hearing all kinds of... You can't figure... you're going to have to go to the city and the state. You don't know how to deal with the Food and Drug Administration. You don't know... All that...
Stories.
See?
Stories.
Because I'm getting out of my what I know is normal.
Right.
But I'm not allowing that to stop me.
Exactly.
For my goals and what I want. I want us to be in our own per se Starbucks. And we can do this.
Even doing this like in the mobile, like doing this outside, like this is not normal, but I'm making it normal.
Yeah,
right? And
exactly.
Even
New normal.
Even the cowboy hats, I've noticed something. Everyone start wearing them.
Yeah,
I'm
seeing more people.
More people. I'm like, I've never seen people just wear cowboy hats just to wear them.
Really?
But I'm like, maybe I did a cause and effect. I have no clue.
Yeah.
That's not my job to be like claim it.
Well, keep in mind. No, I'm not downplaying the possibility of that, but sometimes when you do it, you recognize it more.
Exactly. That too. I've heard that many times.
You would have looked before. You never even caught it. So they could have been the same.
Exactly.
I think that's people. Okay, there's a huge key for somebody listening, and for us. When you focus hard enough on what you want, you're going to see the clues. You're going to see the keys. They're going to come to you unexpectedly because your focus. Remember this location? I said I want a coffee, blah, blah, blah. I ended up getting a complete coffee location's furniture for free because I was keeping an eye out. You remember you helped me.
Yeah, no, I did, yeah.
How crazy is that? When you are firm on your goals and persistent, dude, stuff will come to you out of nowhere. That is crazy. It's crazy because it doesn't just fly by you. You're say you want to be healthier and you're overweight. You're going to start repeating that. I can't wait till I'm healthy. Or just start repeating, I'm a healthy person. I'm in great shape. Even though you're not, tell yourself that. And just feel what it's like to be extremely healthy and in good shape. And then watch. Someone's going to come around you or whatever. You'll be thinking, hey, I need to improve my nutrition. And then someone will come along, or you'll find the right video or whatever, and it'll be the exact nutritional thing you need. And you can...
Absolutely.
And you can put it to use.
And I'm a testimony on that. That's
really?
Yeah, because
what happened with your health stuff?
So
how did you get started doing
I got started because of
were you thinking about health?
I've always thought about it. I've always put it like one day I want to be healthy, strong, looking buff, whatever. I've always imagined it. But
really in the back of your mind?
Always.
There's always a little bit there?
Yeah, because I'm like, I want to look good, powerful.
Okay.
And next thing you know, what is it? I started filming for Pride Fitness and Movement, which is my
So he
trainer.
called you?
He called me, hey, I need some video work.
How do you know him?
I've known him through, we did a multi-level marketing and high school, and we know him through high school.
Oh, okay, nice.
So we know each other. Yeah. And I just started with my camera stuff, and he was starting with this content. So I was like, okay, let's partner up. And then as time went on, I started filming podcasts for him. And I realized like hanging out with these people that he's been interviewing, it started downloading everything that he's learning about the stretching and everything.
Okay.
And then
It started to have an effect.
Believe it or not, he was going to ask me and I was going to ask him almost on the same week, hey, I want to train with you. And he's like, that's funny because I was about to ask you.
Dang,
hey, we need
sent the signal.
And he gave me a compliment. He's like, we need a buff cameraman. Imagine a buff cameraman.
Okay.
And that's a good point because then I realized I look at all the cameramen, the like really successful ones, they're really
skinny.
No, actually really
overweight.
Big. Yeah, overweight. Really big.
Are they?
Yeah, they really are. So I want to stand out from that. And not be like the rest. And just by hanging out with them all the time, listening to the content, I felt guilty.
Yeah.
There was a guilt down deep inside.
Because you were like, man, I could do this.
Exactly. So,
and you're, what is this? Under any circumstances, I'm reading the 4 agreements at the bottom. Under any circumstance, simply do your best, and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. It's so right.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I signed up with him, and then I took it for granted. 2 months.
Okay.
And that was 2 months of money that went down the drain.
You paid for it.
I paid for it.
Dang.
And it went down the drain, and I was like, this is not. That's when I started. The light bulb went up. I was like,
that cost me.
That exactly.
See, back to the free thing.
Yep. I didn't.
When you pay for something.
Yep.
You appreciate it.
And I saw that, and I was
like, wait. I've been learning. I need to do this.
Exactly.
And you start fighting against your subconscious.
Yep. And then in mid-October, I found something really. I was doing this challenge, a 100-day challenge, and through this process, I learned my self-worth. I learned something about myself in this challenge, and they were pushing me, and I learned something about myself through this like self-worth, and I was like, wow, I am worth way more than I expected. And the light bulb went up. So as soon as I found that, that's when I started realizing the gym altogether and really start tackling the gym into like really being like, hey, this is what I want to do. And I would repeat it to my friends, the people we were hanging out with, or really close friends. I would be like, you know what? I cannot wait till October of 2022. I cannot wait. Just wait 1 year from now. I was that certain.
Ready.
I was so certain.
What, you said your self-worth?
My own self-worth.
What do you mean?
I discovered my own self-worth.
Okay.
We had to do this donation and ask people for donations.
Okay.
And through this process, I realized how much people really supported me, even if they gave me $5, $20, because they see the value that I've been giving them so much, like on social media, on just how I am, and they are willing to give to me because, or to this cause, and because of. They're like, Glenn, we support you because we're fans of you. They don't speak up, they don't say much, but they love what I'm doing. Even probably fans here that they don't say anything, and I'm okay with that. That's okay because it probably gives them a sense of relief. I don't know. I have no clue.
Sure,
that's not my job.
We're adding value.
Yeah, exactly.
You're adding value to people,
and so they wanted to add value to me.
Nice.
And so when I discovered that in my own self, I was like, dude, I am worth way more than I thought. And then boom.
And when you saw it from other people. So, okay, I'm still trying to make the connection, how you saw that self-worth and then translated that into your body.
Oh, so I started, so the money, so 2 things happened. The money.
Okay, you saw the money.
One, and then I saw my own self-worth. So I'm like, hey, I'm worth this much. And then I realized, wait a minute. If I'm worth this much, I gotta be healthy. And if I want to promote about it, like if I want to really tell people, hey, like, I want to be healthy, I should just go do it. Like, if I'm worth this much, let my actions speak.
Okay,
let my action. If I'm really worth this much, let my actions speak. So it's got to speak in every little bit.
Your personal standard got higher. And you realize people are putting you up higher, so you put yourself up higher.
Exactly.
I need to keep myself above.
Exactly.
Even where people put me.
So exactly, people are putting me at such a like, dude, Glenn, you're gonna be this guy, and I never believed it. And then now, like when I went through that process, I'm like, okay, yeah, they're setting me the bar really high, or I'm setting myself too. Well, let me show it. Let me
go even
higher. Exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly.
Match it higher.
Match it. So
good, man.
And then consistency. It was just being
Yes.
consistent, and I would show up, and I would stretch. I would just stretch and go to the gym, and that was it. And then go home. But at least I
Nice.
showed up. I showed up, and I would do something with my coach. I'll always tell him, to Andrew Briggs, I would be like, I'm going to prove you wrong. With your information, I'm going to prove you wrong. Taking creatine, I'm going to prove you wrong. And none of that stuff is true. Like, it was just a self-motivation for myself. Like, you're telling me to do X amount of push-ups. I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
That I'm not going to get a bigger chest. I got a bigger chest, man.
Yeah.
It's like, it kind of pissed him off a little bit, but it's like, it was kind of humorous at the same time. I'm like, it was a humor but it was for me to be self-motivated. To like, hey, the information you're saying, I'm going to prove you wrong that this is going to straighten my back. Okay, your information was correct.
Wow.
All of this was correct. But it helped me,
Nice.
and it's self-motivated. It was for me to be self-motivated, to prove someone wrong. Because sometimes I like to prove someone wrong, but in a good way, because he actually has good information.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's what you need to do. People need to test the information
Exactly.
that they're given and prove it. Prove it wrong.
And he's very, very skilled.
it's right.
I loved, I basically go to him on, like, his process is like, I'm almost butt naked. Just got my underwear. But he goes through every little bit, right? And what I loved about him, the last one we did last week, he knew that there was a pressure on my side hip. He knew
Okay.
by measuring me, by looking, by observing, by all this.
He didn't even ask you.
He didn't even ask me. I was like, and then we did one stretch, with
And
this,
it was over.
and it was like, I was like,
You can't.
and the pain was so high, like, oh. He's like, oh, there it is. He's like, he already knew. I was like, wait, what? How did you know that was gonna happen without even doing a stretch, like by just examining my body?
Yeah. And your posture.
Yeah, exactly. He knew every
Structure.
I was like, dude, that is a skill. That's amazing
Nice.
that you can do that. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, there's things I need to work on. And
Is he doing any content that people can just look up?
Yeah.
and
So he's on.
Start doing now.
So Andrew. This is Andrew, Pride Fitness and Movement. Check him out. I shoot all his content. I built his podcast, and
Nice.
he really appreciates it. And I've learned so
Nice.
much from him building his podcast. So now I know how to do it.
Nice.
Now I know how to do it.
Is it complete? Like, can somebody start listening to this stuff and
Yeah.
get like some stuff doing?
Absolutely.
Interesting. I'll have to check it out
Yeah,
too.
check it out. And it's very interesting how he can, like, me learning about him, and we're learning about doing thumbnails, and we're learning about marketing. We're learning so much.
And like trying to get his information out.
and testing things that do work, don't work. So
But the information is good.
the information is great.
Okay.
He
is
really-
there anything that's specific you could recommend?
What is the one
Someone
that
to start? Or
one-
what do you think? Just any?
any? I mean, honestly, like,
Okay. How many are there?
There's he's got like at least 200 videos or more, at least 500 more. I don't know how many.
Oh
I
my
could be
gosh.
exaggerating.
You did that many?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Jeez, you haven't even told me this.
Yeah, so I'll do one podcast and then I clip it out. Like,
Okay.
he'll be like, "Hey, this is great
okay,
content.
okay.
This is great content."
Nice.
So,
How many podcasts?
that's the one thing I've learned from him. He has already done. He's on 20. He's almost
released?
30. He's almost
okay,
at 30.
wow,
He's almost
okay.
at 30.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
but the statistic is most people don't even do 20, and that's when people quit.
Oh, interesting. What right now, what's something that he shares that most people don't know that's extremely valuable about health that you learned? What do you think? What's one of the top things?
The top things. Make sure.
or just one at least.
One of the things that I love, what I've learned from him, is the assessment.
Okay.
Make sure every coach you go to
Uh-huh.
assess you before you even start working out.
And you don't just go in and blah, blah.
That's what I thought.
Oh, interesting.
That was my
Okay.
misconception.
That's what I had happen to me.
Yeah.
I had this guy at GSR. We just started working out.
Yeah,
Interesting. Okay.
It's like, think about it like a car.
Yeah.
All right. Let me just put all this gas and oil and all. I don't know.
Okay.
Let me just put all these. That's
an
a
assessment,
Lexus.
huh?
That's a
Okay.
Lexus.
So
you're not
a
supposed
specialist.
to. Yeah, you're not supposed to put a Ford part in a Lexus
Yeah.
or whatever.
You want your specialist.
So you-
okay. Is there anything valuable about like health specifically, not just a trainer, that you can share real quick
Oh, health wise,
for the general public? What do you think?
Yeah. Health wise, more specific. What do you mean?
Maybe some nutrition. What is there something people can start eating just to at least start changing a little bit, or just something small in their diet they can add or subtract? What would you think?
You know,
I know you're not the trainer.
I'm not the trainer, but the one thing that's been helping me has been this app. It's called Chronometer.
Okay.
And you can literally put how many carbs, how much fat, and how much protein. And if you just follow it, and it gives you the bars.
Okay.
And you can scan this stuff. Like you can scan your cornflakes. You can scan your whatever. Just scan whatever
like any food
you want.
What do you mean scan it?
It's a little mice.
Is there a mouse?
Yeah.
There's a mouse out here?
Yeah, there's a mouse right there.
Oh, that's cool.
Anyways, you scan. So you scan the barcode.
Okay. You scan the barcode?
Barcode, and it'll tell you like,
oh my God, the nutritional facts.
Yeah. And
really?
The fats, the carbs, the everything. So now I know like if I'm eating too much.
What is this? Hold on, I'm going to download it right now.
Yeah, it's called
Where's my phone?
Chronometer. And right now I am eating 2,300 calories. That is the essential goal. I am right now at 1,400, and I have high in fat right now, but I'm at 74%. The carbs right now that I have is 53%, and protein is at 56%. And what I'm eating in protein is 174 grams. Carbs, I'm eating 122 grams. Fat, I'm eating 57 grams.
Huh. And so it lists everything.
It lists everything, and
Is this it? With the Apple?
With the Apple, yep.
Okay.
And I literally scan it. And
the Apple Target.
It's free, and I just you put your.
It's free. There's no pay.
No pay.
Huh.
And it works. It's great because it keeps me on track. Like,
so you can put like your information, scan, kind of.
Yep.
Do you set a goal?
So I have a goal of 2,300 calories.
Okay.
And then each one is broken down. So protein is 98. Like I'll repeat myself. 98 or 174 grams of protein, 231 grams of carbs, and 77 grams of fat. And
okay. This is interesting.
And it works. It keeps me on track. It keeps me like on point. It keeps me like I know what not to eat. I even was with my brother. Like I made really good Mexican rice with some really good chicken, and I forgot some like really good chicken from Mexico City that I know how to make, and I couldn't eat more. I had to
stop because your body's full.
Yeah, not because my body's full, because my
it said to stop.
It said to stop. It says if you've already ate, if you eat more rice, your carbs are gonna go. They're gonna exceed. If you eat another.
Wait, how does it do that? You tell them how many bites?
Not how many bites, but how many grams. So I measure everything.
Oh, okay.
I put everything on a scale.
Gotcha.
And it tells me, hey, I can only eat 100 more
on
grams.
A scale? What do you mean? Like your food on a scale?
Yeah, on a scale, yeah.
So you know exactly.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay.
I'm very accurate. I'm very diligent about it. Now, I haven't done that. I've never done that, and now I love doing it.
Oh, really?
I'll bring my scale anywhere now. If I'm traveling, I'm going to bring it.
It's just a little mini table scale?
Yeah, table scale, and you can put it on top like a plate, and then you just put it on top, whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
It's
you
super
put it
simple.
on the plate, you zero it out.
Exactly.
Yeah, interesting. Where'd you get the scale?
Oh, you can get it anywhere, any store.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't see scales around. What do you mean?
Like a food scale? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like a food scale.
Or on Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon, yeah.
Okay.
So it's just a food
Usually
scale.
it has a plate. Those food scale ones, right?
Yeah, mine's just flat. It's like a rectangle, but you just put a plate, you zero it out.
Okay, yeah.
There's different ones.
Okay,
I got it for free, so.
Did you? Nice.
Yeah. So it was it works. It does the job, and but that's one thing I've learned, and because then you won't have to think like, oh, I'm eating.
You won't double guess.
Yeah, or I'm eating so many vegetables, thinking that I'm going to lose weight. But in reality, when I hear that now, it's like, no, you're not. Because you're still eating calories. They're calories regardless.
In the foods.
Yeah, they're just.
You're eating extra.
Yeah, you're eating.
So like if you eat a salad, but you eat tons and tons of it.
You're still eating.
Like
you can eat an excess amount of. That's just a bunch of carbs.
Really?
Yeah.
Even your like salad and stuff like that.
Yeah, because you're eating it's too much. You're eating. Okay. You're eating more of the calories than you should. But and it's just carbs. Mm-hmm. It's probably just it is just carbs if I really think about it.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's just like, but you're eating 3,000 calories of of a salad, thinking that, hey, I'm losing weight. It's not true.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, it's very
yeah,
interesting.
See?
It's very interesting, and I've lost a lot of weight just by doing this. Like, that's probably why I'm starting to get a six pack.
Yeah.
Because of this.
Nice.
This little app.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important, and
Nice.
I'm all about it now.
Great suggestion. Yeah, man. And I'll have to look that stuff up because I want to. Hey, man, I want to get in better shape too.
Yeah, it's a discipline. It very is, and just like you were saying in the beginning of the conversation, it's just that information surrounding yourself, rinse and repeat all the time. Me repeating it. Eventually, it's just gonna click. Just keep hanging out with the fitness people. Keep hanging out, or
Rising
whatever.
tide raises all ship. If you
That's
get
right.
around people raising up in health,
That's right.
it's inevitable. So for you, you're going to be like, nah, I can't stand it any longer. Because it's in your subconscious.
Yeah.
Ooh,
That's
yeah.
right.
Repeat it. Repeat it till it sticks.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyways, Josh, any last comments you want to? Any last comments? I want to end this podcast.
I think that's it, man. We went over a lot. That's really cool.
I know,
that
did.
was really good. Yeah,
This
those
is
were
great.
things that we've repeated. These are the things we're exercising and enjoying the rewards.
That's right.
Yeah, in many ways, the things we're exercising are multifaceted.
Yep.
You stay diligent, repeat stuff. You can not only affect your income, you can affect your health, you can affect everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, keep on exercising that muscle
Yep.
in whatever it is you want to achieve.
That's right.
Let's keep doing it. Yeah,
One-
and then share it with the world.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
One step at a time, and just this is the culture. The best way to I'm just gonna end it like this too. And I was just talking to one of my good friends. Like, it's I'm how I see the world is like, I want to say it's in a bad place, but I can see some things going in a bad place, and I was like, the best way to change it is today. The best way to change it is like this duplication, is duplicating other people to think different today. We can literally change the world by this conversation. We can literally change the world by just one step at a time. Today, 10 years from now, this whole community
Yep.
will change
Yeah.
just by doing this. And
Yes.
I know when we see the result of, let's say, something, the war or whatever is out there in the news, it wasn't overnight. It happened over time,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
It was over time. So the same thing. So why not play the same game, but in a positive form?
Yes.
Simple and easy.
Yeah.
So this is me changing the culture by doing this, by showing up.
Yes. And giving people the opportunity and suggesting them
Yep.
do the same in their own lives.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. You have more control than you realize. Take control of your life. Take control of your destiny.
Correct.
Do not put it in somebody else's hands. It's not over.
Nope. Until you say it's
not
over.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
all right, Josh. Thanks for this is awesome, man. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
All
My
the time.
pleasure,
Thanks for
my
supporting me.
pleasure. Yeah.
Funny thing. This is fun.
My
This is great.
pleasure, man.
We're getting way much better. So, anyways,
Yeah.
catch you guys later.
Yeah.
Peace.
Take care, you guys.